Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. Appreciate you being with us in the conversation. Let's keep Calissa in our prayers and in our thoughts as the day progresses. You know, and we have talked about the fact, number to call, 888-589-8840. I will get to my JFK stuff at the quarter hour, so stay tuned for that. The one thing that I have to offer in the whole JFK deal, which I've never heard anybody explain, and so we'll get to that at in about 10 minutes. But let's grab clip number 7 if we can, Jeff, and maybe you can play that Max Baucus little audio bite coming out of the end of this thing. This is Charles Krauthammer talking about what's going on with Obamacare. And I have these security experts. Before we play that, there was a panel of IT experts that testified before the House Committee on Science, Space, and Technology yesterday, and they were asked if Americans should use the Obamacare exchanges on healthcare.gov in light of the security concerns, and they said no. They said there is no way that your information is remotely secure or safe on healthcare.gov. They would not recommend that anybody in America use healthcare.gov. This is a quartet of experts testifying before the House Committee on Science, Space, and Technology. David Kennedy, the founder of Trusted Sec, that's an online security firm, one of the best in the country, said the risks were easy to ascertain. Listen to this, quote, just by looking at the website, we can see that there is just fundamental security principles not being followed, things that are basic in nature that any security tester like myself or anyone we hire to test these sites would actually test for prior to being released. And one of the congressmen said, look, this is the mother lode of identity theft because you have social security numbers, you have birth dates, you have incomes, you have home mortgages, you have addresses. All that information now is easily plundered by hackers. Chris Stewart, Utah, said Americans should be scared to death. And this Kennedy guy actually demonstrated an attack in the hearing room. He showed how on finder.healthcare.gov a hacker could breach into a computer, monitor its webcam, and steal passwords. And he said hackers from Russia or China could absolutely breach the online marketplace, and it'll only get worse, he said, if people try to patch this thing while it is up and running. Morgan Wright, a cyber terrorism expert, said this, attempting to fix one line of code could open up a Pandora's box. You create an unintended series of cascading events you have no control over because you don't have a grasp of what the code is actually doing. You think you've changed one thing by doing that. You've opened up a Pandora's box of vulnerabilities on the other side. And Kennedy, this guy, I mean, he does this for a living. He says, I have never seen anything like this in my life. To be honest with you, I have not seen, and I've worked for Fortune 10, Fortune 50, Fortune 1000 companies, as well as on the government side, I have not seen an application that doesn't pale in comparison to what's going on here. Because of the sheer amount of code, listen to this, 500 million lines of code. He says, just because of that, if you were going to review this for security risks, it would take you 6 months to do it. Fixing the flawed code will also be extremely expensive. The market value of high-end website code is about $50 per line. And he said, look, there's another paradigm in the industry. It costs you $1 to fix something before you launch. It costs you $100 to fix it after you launch. And here is Mo Brooks asked him this question from Missouri. Given healthcare.gov security issues, and assuming for the moment that you would be personally responsible for all damages incurred from your advice, would any of you advise an American citizen to use this website as the security issues now exist? Every witness said no. And if they could have put some kind of expletive deleted in front of that, they probably would have. Now, Kennedy, this leading cybersecurity expert, 3 recommendations. Best option, create healthcare.gov 2.0, completely redesigned website. Burn it to the ground, start over. That would take 6 months. Option 2, take the website offline so nobody can use it It would take 4 to 6 months to fix it, and it's offline. Nobody can use it. Or introduce new code while it's still running. That would take you years. In other words, these guys are saying at an absolute minimum, at a bare minimum, there will be nothing usable on this website at least until the middle of next year, and that is a best-case scenario. So let's listen to Charles Krauthammer, clip number 7. Here is his analysis of what's going on.
But what's happening here is unraveling of the cover-up. This is not a cover-up of corrupt misconduct. This is a cover-up of cosmic incompetence, of the fact that they began to be told in March, and nobody acted and nobody said. So we now know that the Secretary of HHS knew, high officials in the White House knew, way back in December, and then pretended in a hearing 2 weeks later to Congress it's all working well.
In March, and then April was the...
Exactly. And then in the run-up, there's all these reassurances, and we know that the president had been briefed himself about that McKinsey study. So he knew. How much he knew, we're not sure. But this is really incompetence of a level that is indescribable. And it stands to reason. We've got a president who never ran anything. He was never a governor. He never ran a hot dog stand in his life. And he presumed with his team to remake a sixth of the American economy, and this is what happened.
So this is a cosmic... I'm sorry. Play that again, Jeff. My bad.
I just see a huge train wreck.
Okay, that's my bad. Jeff even warned me that I'd asked him to play that, and I stepped on Max Baucus's line. My apologies, Senator. So, Krauthammer, this is cosmic incompetence. This is a level of incompetence that is indescribable. Let's go to the phones. Let's grab a call from Miles in Muskegon, Michigan. Miles, welcome. What is on your mind? Miles, Muskegon, Michigan.
Hello there. How are you?
Good, doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I just wanted to talk about this affordable care.
Yes, sir.
Package. Okay, now there is over 300 million people in the United States of America. If each one of the 300 million would pay $5 per person, that would be enough money to cover anybody's health problem for the year. Now, this is the idea of the ObamaCare package. If everyone, including your family members and your family, your children, your grandchildren, $5 each would be enough money to cover any insurance or any doctor bills or any hospital stays that would be necessary for a year, and that will be funds left over to pay down the deficit.
Well, no, I'm not sure I'm following you on this. You're saying that your health insurance only costs you $5 a year?
What I'm saying is if all of America would stop and pay $5 a piece and join the ObamaCare package.
Yeah, but wait a minute, Miles, you can't buy health insurance for $5 a year, and that's what you'd have to be able to get health insurance for $5 a year for your program to work.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If everybody did that, it wouldn't cost but $5 per person.
Back into Focal Point AFR Talk.